No way is this for real. Seriously? Look, if you guys want to actually check out the actual channel that actually released this video, it comes from this YouTube channel, Hasan,, basically. So that's, if I am actually butchering it, I'm very sorry, but pretty much this is not my type of video. So basically, the video is titled, Why Nowhere Else Looks Like China. Basically, this is just Hasan reacting to iShowSpeed with his China trip, which I was surprised of. I didn't actually think that iShowSpeed would actually go through it. And well, there's an actual mode of admiration coming from me, because holy shit, he is a content creator getting everywhere. A content creator getting everywhere. He once was who I think was a nuisance, but he didn't give a fuck. He just made sure to change up bits of him, and then he became sensational. Real sensational in a good way, I have got to admit. He's that type of content creator, and wow. Okay, fine. Yeah, I really got to hand it to him.
I just bought this $250,000 car in China. Let's see what it can do. So the car even does the suey. Chat, the car can even dance by itself. Look.
Do you guys remember when I was talking about this car over and over again? When I was like, I want this vehicle so bad. I'm very happy for him, but I'm also...
By the way, that is a BYD car. And we got BYD electric vehicles around. I'm not sure that it's not exactly in the quality that is actually being shown right here, because this looks like an exotic. Because holy crap, that looks like a monstrous exotic, bro.
So incredibly jealous. Okay, his China trip is literally like, it's something that I dream of, and then I wake up in cold sweats knowing that I have to live in reality where I have not done it. You will never get it. You will never experience it, and you don't deserve it. Top G.
Right, left. This car can even turn by itself. Look, it can turn by itself. Hell no. It can turn by itself. I might have pressed the button. They just jump. Oh, hell no. Hell no. These cars in China crazy, bro.
And he visited cyberpunk city Chongqing in China as well. China EV cars last like a year tops, but...
Oh my God, China is crazy, yo. Look at this fucking city. God damn. How do you even build something like that? And a low-key in the future, bro. If y'all think about it, low-key in the future.
Honestly, China's just really getting everywhere when it comes to beyond what the mainstream news actually tells you. But what is the actual real promise of China these days? What is the actual real promise of China, considering that they're showing wonders? I just don't like it when the differences between nations are so far-reaching that it really just avoids letting other people experience the countries themselves. Now, I'm no traveler, but even I have some problems when it comes to those types of things happening, okay? I don't like it that we're being too alienated to go to a country just because the times change, okay?
Is China in the future or is everywhere else just
Damn! Is China in the future or is everywhere else in the past? Damn!
I don't know. I've never been to a fucking country where they have stuff like this. Let's be real. Get this shit. Bro, I'm not gonna cap. There's no other city like this.
Yeah, I mean, it's cyberpunk. It literally is cyberpunk. iShowSpeed went 100 meters underground in China only to end up on top of a skyscraper. How the fuck did y'all even make this? Speed was shocked. The stream really shows how underdeveloped the West looks compared to China.
Right? Check it out. What the fuck?
I keep telling everyone, if we had a society for slave labor wages, we too could have amazing growth and development. Yeah, except...
If we had a society... Oh my... Wait. Yeah. Listen, we cannot ignore the history with China. Unfortunately, we still cannot ignore the history with China. China has gone a long way ever since its worst periods, in which there was oppression. Yes, there was also slavery. Yes. But we cannot overshadow that history with technology. It makes actual sense. That actual comment right there makes actual sense. All right? Just making sure that you guys understand, okay? But what does Hasan think?
Except America did have that, you fucking idiot. What are you talking about? What are you...
Actually, that makes sense. America did go through that too, and America also has its own form of tech and own form of prosperity. So, yeah.
You think chattel slavery was? And we still do. We still have slavery in our prison system. What are you talking about? We still have hyper exploitation in the form of undocumented migrants constantly coming to the country.
It's not undocumented. Oh my god! It's not slavery. It's not slavery if they're willing to go across the border, Hasan. For Pete's sake.
No, it's not a matter. It is not a fucking matter of slave labor. It's a matter of central planning. That's it. It's about distributing the bounties rather than keeping it in the hands of a select few group of elites. That's what it is. These guys are so fucking stupid.
And chat, y'all know a funny story, and I'm not even capping. Every city in China looks exactly like this. Every city. Even the chat, not even the big ones, look exactly like this. Oh, we need a thumbnail. Right here. This is Chongqing Cyberpunk City in China. Let's go. Let's get that shot, baby. Oh my god. Oh my goodness.
Oh my god, that view. Oh my god, Speed was not kidding. I thought he was kidding. Shit.
Look at this city! Oh my god! Yo, looks nuts!
Tell them to come.
Oh my god! This is China! This is Chongqing, baby! Oh my god! Y'all see me waving? Oh my goodness! This is Chongqing right here! Oh my god! Yo, this is crazy! Oh my...
You see the clip where he watches the train go through the building. There's insane tech that people are not ready for. The train going through the building, I think, is not a surprise, but at the same time, it's mesmerizing. Holy shit.
God, this looks crazy, bro. That's your back. Look quick. All right. Oh my god, this city looks crazy. God damn.
We on us?
It's just crazy to think that, like, it's crazy to act like this is not insanely impressive. You know what I mean? Shit that was considered a ghost city and dunked on and made fun of by Western media in perpetuity now is like a city that puts many Western capitals to shame.
It's coming to us. I don't know what side it is.
You got it. Do it while we're on here. Do it now.
What the?
No, we switched. We're on here.
Huh? This is the cyber city of Chongqing, China. 3, 2, 1. This is Chongqing, baby. Let's go. Come on. This is Chongqing. Beautiful. This is it. W's in the chat. Try it.
Is this drone shots? What the fuck?
Those are fucking drone shots, bro. Of course they're drone shots.
Oh my god. Holy shit. This is Cyber City Chongqing. Alright, y'all. I'm ending my stream in 5 minutes, though, y'all.
This is Chongqing 30 years ago versus today. Americans couldn't understand. Like, 30 years, dude. Come on, dude.
30
The saddest
years.
part about this is that with the exception of some major American metropolitans, you could literally do this in reverse with most American areas of industry. If you did a 30-year snapshot of like Gary, Indiana, or Detroit, you would see the reverse effect of this.
You mean to say that America's getting more old-fashioned at this point? Actually, that makes actual sense. Because in the 80s, there used to be more lights, and then there are less lights. And at the moment, there are less lights in most cities in America. All right, now that I think about it, all right, fine. I'll give you a point there, Hasan. I'll give you a point there.
I wonder what happened. The major difference here is not like America was not unimaginably wealthy or grew its wealth in the past 30 years. They kept growing their wealth. America just kept growing its wealth and did not actually redistribute it back to its citizens. That's the difference. China, on the other hand, took the wealth, toiled away endlessly, and then engaged in central planning and even development, rapid urbanization. That's the difference. This kind of wealth transfer has taken place in many countries. India is another example of this. But the reason why you can't make this exact same comparison with India is because India versus China, when you look at it, were both subjected to colonial exploit, but one was developed by a consistent, ideologically minded socialist movement that, to a certain degree, even though there were ups and downs, maintained that long-term interest in genuinely improving the material conditions of as many of its population as possible through central planning, versus India is neoliberal. That's it.
When it comes to Hasan's perspective on shit, you cannot deny that he's got ideas of what he's saying. He's got real ideas of what he's saying. But at least in development, fine. At least in development, fine. Some ideas are at least welcome. Some ideas are at least accepted. But hopefully, when it comes to Hasan content, he's not going to give us rug pulls every fucking time, bro. Because as much as I'd like to actually give... Okay, hold on. As much as I actually like to give this guy views, no. The way I actually did it, I didn't watch a single video through YouTube. I did it in other ways, alright? I'm just making sure that you guys understand that I'm not giving Hasan or any of his fan channels any views, because, first off, I absolutely am still raging around Hasan. Okay? No, do not tell me to keep watching Hasan content because this will only be one of the days that I will. This will be only one of the days because I wanted to see what his reaction to is on China. And I was right. He would actually favor China because he preaches China. And speaking of Hasan, the piece of shit. Again, we got another video from more Pegasus. And this video is called Hasan Just Crossed the Line. What is this one all about? I'm giving this one a... What did he do now? Yes, I am willing to make the switch up, reacting to Hasan's content and then reacting to content that actually tells of bad news around Hasan. Yes, you could definitely pick me for a douche, pick me as a douche, public shame me, but you can only do it only up to there.
Welcome back to your daily dose of drama news. In today's video, Hasan continues to slander Ethan Klein. Asmongold calls out Hasan for playing defense for terrorist orgs. Another terrorist attack has taken place in Boulder, Colorado, and it was a guy setting people on fire with Molotovs yelling "Free Palestine." Turns out when you don't condemn terrorists and instead you support and praise them, people actually think terrorism is okay.
Who in the crazy fuck actually thinks that when you praise terrorism and you think that terrorism is okay, it is normal? Who thinks that? My mind blows when it comes to people having that mentality. My mind blows actually when people have that mentality.
Hasan is probably doing the boogie down challenge as we speak, throwing a little party, doing the Fortnite L dance, finding 1,001 ways to play defense for this scumbag piece of shit. In other news, boxing commentator Wade Clemens has called out iDubbbz, saying he was working for free, thinking...
Oh my god, yeah, I heard about this, that the charity event is not exactly a charity because the creators of this charity event actually profited from it? That's bad news.
It was a charity event? Local jellyfish, Ludwig, has responded to my video on his stream. Anyway, subscribe, tell your friends about the channel so we can stop Hamas, Diddy, Piker, and friends from brainwashing people. And let's begin with Hasan crying about Ethan. Hasan says that Ethan and Hila are gross propagandists.
I'll pull it up in a minute.
It's really crazy how Hasan, just doesn't want us to help cousins.
Oh my god. Oh, they're so gross, dude. They're such disgusting genocidal propagandists. Oh my god. Oh, it's crazy how Hasan doesn't want us to help the Palestinians. Wait, did she even say Palestinians? Hold on, maybe she did.
It's really crazy how Hasan, just doesn't want us to help cousins.
Oh, she didn't even say Palestinians. She said cousins.
Bro can't even hear the clip correctly. We talked about this in one of the previous episodes where Hasan will literally
Honestly, I don't understand this part, but seriously.
just hear whatever he wants and whatever makes him the most mad.
Ethan talks about Jewish heritage in the Middle East. Hasan then ignores that and argues against something Ethan didn't even say.
Hasan attempts to deny Jewish heritage in the Middle East. It characterizes them not as indigenous, but as white colonizers. This is
Oh, the Israeli heritage in the Middle East is now tarnished by... Well, first of all, Israeli heritage in the Middle East. The f*** is Israeli heritage in the Middle East? That doesn't exist. Shut the f*** up.
He didn't say Israeli heritage. He said Jewish heritage.
It's kind of irrelevant what you even say because this guy will just cook up something in his head and get mad over it. Also, how ironic Hasan calling Ethan a genocidal propagandist. Buddy, you just described yourself. You literally support the terrorist organizations that want precisely that. Their whole stated mission is to eliminate the Jews, and you support them. Also, may I point out that he has...
Look, so let's just be real. You gotta have that better straight mind when it comes to these things at all, because there is a difference between those who terrorize and those who have formal education when it comes to tactics and formal rules of engagement, which does not leave collateral damage at all. Okay, there's a big difference between terrorists and operators. Okay, I'm not going to be very surprised that Hasan thinks that every operator is also a terrorist. It's just he has a very twisted mind. Okay, his mind is always the other way around, because who have less superiority are to be praised more because they have ideals that can change society. News flash, Hasan, they change society, they also break it too. Why isn't the point being relayed to him that what he's thinking is dangerous and it can actually destroy society as it is? Why can't he just sit where he is, stay on his lane, and just shut the fuck up?
Has admitted that he is a propagandist on several occasions.
Just like I do propaganda.
I'm a propagandist. Well, no. For the record.
So the phrase genocidal propagandist is something that fits Hasan way more than it fits Ethan. Anyways, this next part, Asmongold reacts to the ADL trying to deplatform Hasan.
Hasan Piker. So the ADL says when you openly support a murderous, anti-Semitic, U.S.-designated terrorist org calling for violence against all Jews, you minimize our fear and grief and embolden extremists. Now is the time for Twitch, YouTube, and X and all of the other social media platforms to decide if their platforms or spaces to allow someone like Piker to spew hatred and pro-terrorist propaganda. The time to act is now. So do I think this is going to go anywhere? I'm going to be honest, guys. Yes. I think that this is a bridge too far. Trying to play PR for a terrorist organization, this will be a domino effect. I don't think that... So, a lot of you guys might not understand how much average companies hear the word anti-Semitism and they just freak out. They're like, oh shit, right? Oh no, we don't want to have anything to do with that, right? So, the moment that they hear that and this happens, it's going to be very problematic. Dan would never... I don't think it's going to be his decision. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't. I think that if more people start talking about this, and especially if more reputable sources start talking about this, and by the way, the Anti-Defamation League, like, I mean, the ADL, right? I don't think the ADL is that great either, but I understand that they exercise a certain power that is respected in traditional mainstream media and mainstream circles, right?
I do believe that Hasan's downfall is coming very soon, especially with the recent terrorist attack that happened in Boulder, Colorado, right? As well as the shooter yelling Free Palestine. There is now a magnifying glass on Hasan's...
Look, I'm sure that there are organizations just like the Anti-Defamation League that can be annoying, but they actually do have good intentions. Terrorists do not have good intentions. And the guy who supports terrorists, the guy who wants to let terrorists destroy society, they want to keep him on platform just because he's got good fucking talking points. Now, I don't fucking care if he talks good about China. I don't care if he talks good about democratic policies in the United States. I don't care if he talks about the other good talking points. No. They all get swept away because of bad statements that are going to destroy society, and those are not mistakes. He is willing to keep them, but too bad, because... not only is he willing to hide them, if he wills to keep them, he's going to delete the evidence, just like he did on Twitch, just like he did on his Discord. You think that he's going to keep those statements. You think that he's going to maintain those statements. Then why is he removing all the evidence? Why is he deleting all that evidence? He is a nut job. He is a psycho. It's 2 in 1.
Behavior. And you guys know that my "It's Over" titles are usually a joke. It's literally a meme I've been playing for like 8 months now. Sometimes it's real, you know, like Vitaly in Philippines getting prison time, and Johnny Somali definitely gonna be going to prison for a very long time. That's confirmed. But Hasan is like a special case, right? This guy has eluded responsibility for his actions for very long. He's like an armchair.
He let the streaming platforms ride him, and now they're seeing the costs of riding his ass. Okay?
Extremist, right? He doesn't actually go out and commit the violence himself, but the things he says are so violent, so obviously praising violence. So it's a little bit harder to prosecute with this guy. But with this whole series and the massive attention around Hasan right now and all of these events happening, I feel like his day is coming because he refuses to back down. Every single time he doubles down, he plays defense for the shooters, the murderous terrorists, and I feel like it's only a matter of time. You can't consistently get away with this. And I don't care if it takes 100 videos, but this guy needs some serious karma, bro. This guy's an absolute freak. Anyways, let's talk about the recent terrorist attack in Colorado.
An attack has occurred on a pro-Israel protest in Boulder, Colorado. Initial reports suggest Molotov cocktails were used.
If you want to have policy and world events go your way, first, you got to have the numbers. Second, your voice must be so louder than how government operations are and how society operates. Because if you are alone and you are desperate, it's never going to work.
And there are multiple casualties, including children. According to the witnesses who spoke with CBS, the suspect attacked people walking to remember the Israeli hostage. This is not a protest. It's a peaceful walk to show solidarity with the hostages and their families, and a plea for their release, said.
Basically, the guy at Boulder, Colorado is a nut job too, okay? Basically, that guy is a nut job too. And also, you guys need to explain, why have you guys not subscribed yet to my YouTube channel? This might be reaction content, but it's still content all the same. But seriously, this is depressing, even for me.
For their lives who organized the walk. It's unequivocally domestic terrorism, and anybody can see that. What happened? There was another terrorist attack from a anti-Israel person who threw Molotov cocktails into a peaceful protest of children and burned multiple people alive and killed them. That's what happened.
So
basically, Hasan is enabling people like this. Whether the nature is anti-Semitic or not, it's just acts of violence. Any acts of violence that are going to align with his agendas, okay? He's enabling this. Hasan is absolutely enabling this.
Here we have a video of the guy who did the attack. Apparent video shows the suspect in the targeted terror attack holding Molotov cocktails.
We're here. We can't do nothing about that.
Dude, what a freaking clown. Dude has completely lost his mind. He thinks that setting people on fire in America is somehow freeing Palestine. Dude, honestly, how deluded can you actually be? How brain dead are these people? Anyways, these absolute idiots think that doing terrorism is somehow helping the cause. How many Palestinians did you help by doing this?
Like I said, he is a nut job. He is desperate. And he doesn't know what he's doing. He's doing things alone. He thinks killing people, he thinks hurting people will actually change things. Except it's not heartfelt. It is desperate. That's all it is. Desperate.
You absolute clown. In fact, you probably detracted from the cause, but because now people are going to associate Free Palestine with complete terror attacks and random bullshit like this. So here's the news report about it.
I'm able to confirm there are 6 victims, ages 67 to 88. All of them have been transported to local hospitals. This attack happened at a regularly scheduled weekly peaceful event. Witnesses are reporting that the subject used a makeshift flamethrower and threw an incendiary device into the crowd. The suspect was heard to yell "Free Palestine" during the attack. The subject has been identified as Mohammed Sabri Solomon, and he's 45 years old. The FBI is processing the crime scene and the subject vehicle and interviewing key witnesses. We're assisting Boulder Police in providing technical, analytic, and additional forensic resources. As a result of these preliminary facts, it is clear that this is a targeted act of violence, and the FBI is investigating this as an act of terrorism.
I mean, obviously it's a targeted attack. We literally know his beliefs now. And I feel like the FBI really needs to be on top of the shit. It's crazy how this is even allowed to happen, because I can probably guess that this guy was online spouting some bullshit on his social media account.
I want people to start swatting Hasan. Actually, that's not what I meant to say. I want people to start sending comments to Hasan that may actually make him think it's actually swatting, but it's actually not swatting. Just making sure that it's actually clear.
And the FBI needs to be more proactive in stopping these people committing their actual violence. Because if you're online, like you're on Twitter, and you're threatening to kill people, you need to be on a list. You need to be monitored, right? That's just basic things the FBI needs to do to protect people. And I feel like recently, there's been this surge of people advocating open violence, thanks to some people, some particular Twitch streamers, radicalizing the absolute shit out of regular people, threatening to kill senators himself. Obviously, people are gonna start thinking this type of stuff is okay because they get brainwashed by people like Hasan.
Yeah, you could already tell this guy is a piece of shit. He may know things, but he turned into a douche the more time passes on him.
Also, can I just say, throwing away your life at 45 is crazy. Enjoy the rest of your life in prison, you absolute loser. Also, he just looks like completely unemployed, bro. Holy shit, that's the caricature of unemployed. Anyways, Asmongold tried to message the FBI, but their DMs were closed, so he just started tweeting at them. Basically, here we have the FBI director, and he says, we're aware of and fully investigating a targeted terror attack in Colorado.
Great. I'll be back, guys. Had to leave for a bit to make sure that some gook from the canals have been actually cleared out. They're going to call me again. So before they do, I'm just going to keep reacting to this.
Our agents and local law enforcement are on the scene already, and we'll share updates as more information becomes available. At FBI, bro's targeting it. Bro's like adding his own agency, dog. Ain't no way.
Y'all really need to get on top of some of these people online. They promote this shit and there's nothing ever happens. More online censorship? This isn't, well, guys, this is not more online censorship. It was never acceptable to make calls for violence and to promote terror organizations.
Hasan, we're talking to you, bro.
This is not, guys, this is not censorship. This is the law. I don't want any new rules. All I want is the existing rules to be applied fairly to the people that are obviously breaking them.
Bro, this isn't censorship. Was that like a Hasan chatter just coming into Asmongold's chat there? Because what kind of idiot actually thinks that following the law and applying the rules fairly is censorship? You're literally not allowed to make calls for violence. That is actually not allowed. That is the exception to the free speech rule. Because if you're threatening violence or threatening that you're actually going to do something, it can result in actual violence, and that needs to be stopped, right?
Yep.
Also, you're not allowed to push terrorist propaganda. That is literally against the law because that is dangerous for the citizens. I don't know why it hasn't been prosecuted yet. Probably they're busy with some other shit. I don't know. I mean, he did get questioned.
Probably busy with other shit, and he's got ridiculously paid lawyers because I think that's what corrupt legal systems are for, because, yeah.
Apparently.
Because they only answer to money, not alignments of people, money.
I feel like if you're supporting terrorist organizations that are designated as an enemy but by America, that means you are an enemy of the country, no? That is literally what it means. And I'm just saying, there's plenty of other countries outside America where if you try to do this shit, you would be deported. You would be jailed. You're not allowed to say this type of shit. Now, Asmon talks about the role platforms play in moderating this type of extremist language.
I think Reddit and Twitter are probably the two worst places for this type of radicalism. The FBI needs to be, and TikTok. Yeah, TikTok's another one too. You're right. Twitch is really just pretty much, it's centered entirely around Hasan, right? I mean, like that's let's be honest, right? I do think that the FBI needs to look into a lot of these people that are advocating for violence and pushing for violence, because I think that it's all over these platforms. It's something that's like just stated offhandedly or whatever. It's everywhere. And I'm not talking about somebody who's like saying, I hate Israel, f*** Israel. I'm saying somebody who's saying we should burn these, you know, Israelis deserve to suffer for this. You know, like if you punch somebody like this or you hurt them, it's okay. Like there are so many overt calls for violence that are happening on social media right now that I don't even think that we need to get into the gray areas, because there are so many black and white examples right now. And nothing is happening to these people, and there's no consequences for it. The websites aren't moderating it, and they're just letting these people run wild. Whenever you see Hasan reading the Israeli Shooters Manifesto, the chat, his sub-only chat in emote-only mode is spamming his emote for being subscribed to him, and it's a heart emote. And as far as I know, these people probably never got banned. There's nothing that ever, I don't know, like, do they still have their account?
No, actually, they have their account and they get invited to the next Diddy party with Hasan. In fact, if you're
I think that's likely. I think that's actually more likely.
a girl and you want to get in bed with Hasan, just tell him that you love terrorists. Just tell him that you're really anti-Semitic. That's like Viagra for him. But anyways, I completely agree. These people are psychos. If you're tweeting you want to literally murder people, then yeah, I don't think it's too crazy that the FBI show up up at your house or at least ask you a few questions. Somebody needs to be tailing you and watching you so you don't go and pull some shit like this shirtless guy did or whatever. And you might think I'm extreme for this, but I think Hasan deserves a visit too. Okay, I feel like he's way too comfortable skirting the line with the shit. Okay,
yeah, he's not following the law.
Then Asmund talks about if people like Hasan deserve consequences too.
Do you think there should be consequences for leftist influencers fueling this extremism? I think that if you are promoting and providing a platform for this type of extremism, then yeah, I do think so. I don't think that being anti-Israel is obviously, right? Like, I mean, I'm not a big fan of Israel. I'm just an even smaller fan of burning people alive that support Israel.
Yeah, I'm not actually a fan of burning people alive either, believe it or not. Also, this...
Look, all types of violence, okay? This has got to stop. No matter what kind of political or geopolitical alignment you have, the calls for violence have got to stop. Absolutely. It's ugly on either side of the spectrum. And I'm not even deeply political. This is just common sense.
Mode is hilarious. This is how to free Palestine.
Peaceful Molotovs. God damn.
Peaceful Molotovs. Dude, that is actually exactly what Hasan would say unironically. iDubbbz would probably say those were empathetic Molotovs. Also, there is no way they can still claim they're the good guys. We're burning people alive with Molotovs. Look at us, guys. We're so cool.
God.
People are like, we're anti-Israel. We're so awesome. Like, yeah, you can be anti-Israel without literally killing people. At that point, you're way worse than anyone you're trying to criticize. Nobody's stopping you from having all sorts of different opinions. Obviously, everyone is very, emotional over this whole conflict, and you're free to, support any side you think you see as fit and all that. Maybe you have certain religious beliefs, maybe you have family members on one side. Obviously, you can be swayed any way or the other. But the second it gets violent and you're actually inflicting harm upon civilians, then you're classified as a terrorist and nobody has any sympathy for you anymore. And yeah, people like Hasan who radicalize people need to be stopped because he is like the starting, the starting seed which leads into all this bullshit. Anyways, let's move on to Wade Plemons, the boxing commentator. You might remember him from the KSI saga when KSI was just melting down over the slightest criticism from him. And yeah, he's like a pretty nice guy. And he's talking about iDubbbz here. Former Creator Clash commentator Wade says he worked for free thinking it was a charity event.
Well, it's a charity event.
It's supposed to be a charity event, but they were lied to because the creators of this charity event profited from it. And when I checked on this last night, goddamn, they need to answer for the misinformation, bro.
Stop telling people that because it's not what it is. That was the whole issue, the lack of communication behind number 1 and 2, that it's a charity event.
It's not a miscommunication. It's misinformation. They absolutely know that they profited from it. Okay?
Charity event. It's not a charity event.
It's not a charity event from the beginning. Of course they profited from it, and they knew it.
Boxing event that you are perpendicularly associating with a separate charity that has nothing to do with people buying the boxing event. I was a part of the event and didn't know any of this. I didn't know where money is going. Outside of the fact that I was offered and said, no, I'm all good on that. I want to be there to support, and because they gave me an opportunity. A friend made a video accusing H3, the guy we watched yesterday, of abusing his kids. What the are we talking about? And then CPS came to his house. Also collaborated with very far left content creators in his video about Ethan, which made many of the fighters on the card feel like participating in the event was an endorsement of those extreme beliefs. Supporting Hamas, saying America deserved 9/11. What the
dude,
what
I like when regular people learn about the situation. They're just like,
God.
What the heck is this?
What is going on?
As well to Hasan and friends and the whole content cop. But anyways, he seems a little confused about the situation. So another open invitation to Wade or anybody else. Just watch the saga start to finish. If you're curious, you.
Yeah, pretty much. Just give me a moment here. Let's try to resume this.
You can catch up with all the misdeeds of all these absolute freaks, documented by myself, rated 4.99999 stars by Gordon Ramsay himself, the connoisseur of slop. Now let's move on to Ludwig. Basically, a couple videos ago, I criticized Ludwig for defending iDubbbz taking 34% from a charity. I thought it was pretty scummy.
Ludwig, I expected better of you on this, bro. And I know that I'm not a big streamer like you are, but even okay. You don't profit from a fucking charity event if you say the event is actually for charity. That's the point of a charity event. You don't get anything from it, bro. Well, I can understand if it's a boxing event, the competitors just gotta get their bank. It's understandable. They actually participated in that. But the rest of it, no. It should absolutely be strictly charity.
And essentially snaking a charity event and just not disclosing it to anybody because people thought their ticket money was going to charity when it was not, and Ludwig was defending that. But anyways, one of you guys messaged me on Instagram, told me that he responded to my video, or at least dodged any response to my video.
More Pegasus is chatting shit, bro. Check his VOD. That's the Mr. Beast guy.
The Mr. Beast guy?
Okay, hold on. Sorry, I kind of had a problem a bit with the thing. Give me a moment here. Uh-oh, sorry. I screwed up a bit in the settings. Oh, now I know why. 765. Okay, we're good.
Beast guy.
The Mr. Beast guy? Okay, that's it. Now we have beef. Now I'm making 16 videos on Ludwig. It's over. It's done. Finally over. Finally finished. He's cooked. I will not tolerate the slander, even if it's completely true. The fact is that is yesterday's news. Now I'm referred to as the Hasan guy. So please refer to me by that name. But he's never mentioning Hasan, let's be honest.
That's the Mr. Beast guy. Dude, I'm so good. I actually I'm zero offended at all that he made a video. I hope the video does great and he makes hella bread off of it. But there's a reason I don't do mogul mails, man. I'm good off that crowd because they don't actually care at all about anything. They don't give a shit. They just like chat and shit.
Okay, first off, kind of true. I usually don't care about pointless drama and I just move on with my day. I just talk about things for fun usually, and I like making fun of idiots. But recently with this whole Hasan drama, I'm not too sure because this guy is doing like actual real life damage, and I do feel strongly about it, right?
No one has actually put Hasan behind bars, and no one has uprooted his platforms yet. No one. Basically no one, because no one has the balls enough to actually do it. No one has the balls to actually just straight up call him out and actually just send agents to his house so that he can be taken away, so that every platform that he has is burned, including his physical properties, basically. No one has done that. No one. Because no one has the balls to challenge his ideals, because people think his ideals are God tier, when unfortunately for them, they don't know it destroys society.
Do care at least a little that this guy is causing legitimate harm. He's radicalizing people, promoting terrorists so much, and he's just like a vile person. And I feel like the climate is so extreme now that people are feeling emboldened to go and commit terrorist attacks. And this guy's out here
because he enables these attacks. Seriously.
Playing defense for a shooter. And I'm very passionate about that type of stuff, right? I feel like it would be kind of hard to fake that, you know, like being passionate and making 30 videos daily. Obviously, I do care about these things a lot. And I actually do feel a good sense of purpose, not just entertainment.
Give me a moment, guys. I'll be right back. I'm back, and real life can go suck it. Let's continue.
People, but the fact that I'm doing a good thing by exposing these clowns and preventing other people from getting brainwashed into his cult, because when they watch one of my videos, they can see how much of a complete scumbag, hypocrite piece of shit, lying piece of
because he is a hypocrite.
Shit, he is. Slanderous piece of shit. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. But yeah, the thing is, even if one of his cult members watches one of my videos and they finally see the light and become a normal person after that, that's a very positive impact in the world, and I'm very proud of that. And obviously, I was pretty invested in iDubbbz as well. He used to do the content cops, this whole drama with Ethan. He's definitely part of the whole Hasan story. That's why I talked about him as well. And of course, Ludwig isn't nearly as bad. He isn't that bad at all. I've said this. His worst crime is just being spineless, right? And bending over backwards for Hasan, which is funny, but I'm not going to compare him to someone like iDubbbz or Denims or Frogan or any of these actual vile pieces of shit, right? And I do appreciate that Ludwig said he doesn't mind the videos. You know, he knows the game. He knows the grind. It's just part of YouTube. And yeah, I guess I did need a topic for that day, but I was passionate about it, all right?
The creator just like has to make he makes a video what? Fucking every day or some shit? So it's like, what is the headline? What can I make a video about for 20 minutes to fucking make 5K? 3K, whatever it is.
No way Ludwig is talking about money. Bro, you're worth like $20 million. Calm down. Also, bro just leaked his own income, okay? I'm not earning 5K a day. What are you, smoking crack? What maths did he actually do there? 200K views equals $5,000? $25 CPM. Bro, not even finance channels get that shit. But yeah, 5K a day would mean 5 times 30, which is 150K a month, times 12, that's 1.8 million. So like nearly $2 million a year. And I'm 7 years on YouTube. That would be worth $14 million. Bro, I want whatever drugs he's on. Spoilers, guys. Unfortunately, I'm not that rich. But obviously, I'm not complaining. I got the best job in the world. Obviously, every kid's dream. And I'm very well off, as I've said multiple times before. Retired, chilling, never have to work again. Thanks to you guys. I choose to work every day, though, because it's still fun. And what the hell would I do? Play video games all day? Go back to League of Legends? Hell no, bro. The only reason I like being well off is that I can buy the extra expensive $6 strawberries at the store without feeling guilty about it. Dude, they're so sweet and juicy. I can't buy the shitty cheap strawberries, bro.
This guy is just wholesome. If you just actually watch more Pegasus, okay? Let me just be real. You can just watch more Pegasus if it just content is actually real sweet. If you actually want to do that yourself, please, more Pegasus is actually available on this link over here. Well, you can actually see it right here, but more Pegasus, 600,000 subscribers. But of course, why would that stop you from actually checking out my channel, which is still less than subscribers? I'm going to need more subscribers to actually make a very huge impact. Right now, it's still a very small impact. Why? So if you guys, please, check out my channel, see how it is. Heck, all my links are actually also available. My card especially. So my landing page is actually there to actually show you where all the socials are. So if you guys actually haven't done that yet, please, I really appreciate the support. And also, really, just thank you for the support. Thank you for the support that you gave me so far. I need to improve on content, but all the same, you guys are still awesome. You guys are still around, at least. But please, if you guys want to tune into some more shit, to some more random stuff, just please, all you got to do is subscribe and follow. I'll see you guys in the next one. And cheers.